Hi, my name is Shirley, and today's training and presentation will be on healthcare workforce diversity and inclusivity. Today's training webinar will focus on training and development for clinic staff on how to foster a diverse and inclusive working environment. This topic is important because as the healthcare workforce is becoming increasingly diverse, so is the patient population. In order to provide the best level of culturally competent care to patients, it begins with fostering a diverse healthcare workforce where employees can achieve psychological safety. This training webinar will prepare participants with the knowledge necessary to foster a diverse and inclusive working environment. The contents of this PowerPoint presentation will focus on covering the definitions and core concepts of diversity and inclusivity. The remaining learning objectives will be taught through analyzing assigned readings. There are 3 learning objectives for today's training, which will be discussed in the subsequent slides. These are our learning objectives for today's presentation. The first learning objective is to learn about the 3 key dimensions of diversity. Those are human diversity, cultural diversity, and systems diversity. The second learning objective is to understand how and why each of the 3 key dimensions being taught is relevant to the healthcare workforce. The third learning objective is to identify barriers to workforce diversity and inclusion. After this training webinar, participants should be able to demonstrate thorough understanding of workforce diversity, inclusivity, and the proposed learning objectives. Before we proceed, please pause the video and complete the Cultural Diversity Awareness Questionnaire number 1. Cultural Diversity Awareness Questionnaire number 2 is the same questionnaire, but will be reserved for completion after the training has concluded. This serves as a self-assessment to measure changes in participants' understanding and awareness of the topic before and after the training. The self-assessment consists of 32 questions and should take about 15 minutes to complete. Once the questionnaire has been completed, you may resume the video and presentation. Defining diversity and inclusion. Diversity can be defined as a collective mixture of differences and similarities that includes factors such as individual and organizational characteristics, preferences, and behaviors. Inclusion can be defined as the achievement of a work environment in which all individuals are treated fairly and respectfully, have equal access to opportunities and resources, and can contribute fully to the organization's success. So what is the relevancy of this topic? Well, diversity and inclusivity is relevant because changes to the population have a profound effect on the healthcare industry. It affects both the healthcare workforce and patients. Healthcare professionals must be culturally and linguistically competent in order to provide effective and efficient care to the diverse populations they serve. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the current U.S. population is estimated to be about 328 million people, and here is a breakdown of the racial and ethnic group. Human diversity pertains to the attributes that make a human being who he or she is. This includes race, ethnicity, age, gender, and family status. These traits are what frequently comes to mind when individuals consider the differences in people. Human diversity is a core dimension when it defines who we are as individuals. This dimension of diversity is with us throughout every stage of our lives, guiding us how we define ourselves and how we are perceived by others. Cultural diversity encompasses a person's beliefs, values, family structure practices, and a mindset as a result of his or her cultural community and environmental experiences. This includes language, social class, learning style, ethics or moral compass, religion, lifestyle, work style, global perspectives, and military views. Cultural norms vary from one culture to another and influence how individuals interact with others in the working environment. Cultural diversity is considered a secondary dimension but has a powerful impact on a person's behavior in the workplace. Cultural competence refers to a set of complementary behaviors, practices, attitudes, and policies that enable the system, agency, or individuals to effectively work and serve pluralistic, multi-ethnic, and linguistically diverse communities. Systems diversity pertains to the differences among organizations in work structure and pursuits. This dimension includes teamwork, re-engineering, strategic alliances, employee empowerment, quality focus, educational development, corporate acquisitions, and innovation. It involves systems thinking and the ability to recognize how functions in the work environment relate to diversity. Organizational systems are integrated to enhance innovation, encourage teamwork, and improve productivity in multicultural, diverse, and inclusive working environments. The benefits of striving to attain greater diversity in the healthcare workforce includes advancing cultural competency, increasing access to high-quality care, strengthening the medical research agenda, ensuring optimal workforce diversity management. So what are some barriers and challenges? Barriers to diversity can create tension and conflict in the workplace. This disrupts workflow, organizational dynamics, and can adversely affect patient health outcomes. Barriers include inadequate cultural competency, such as people not being respectful or understanding of colleagues' cultures, values, norms, and beliefs, and implicit biases. Prejudice is a set of institutionalized assumptions, attitudes, and practices that has an invisible hand effect in systematically advantaging members of more powerful groups over members of less dominant groups. This affects the way people react toward other people based on differences. Individuals who are part of underrepresented gender, sexual, or racial groups may face obstacles in healthcare workforce, including discrimination, fewer job offers, and limited career advancement opportunities such as promotions. What can healthcare organizations do? Well, we suggest incorporating diversity management. There are 3 strategies that will help leaders guide organizations to become culturally competent. One is provide empirical evidence of a connection between diversity and performance. 2. Link the organization's investment in diversity to strategic goals, financial incentives, and organizational success metrics. 3. Ensure that the leadership of the organization is responsible for cultural competence as a performance measure. Components of an effective diversity program ensures that senior management and the governing board are committed to the development and implementation of the diversity program, broadens the definition of diversity to include factors beyond race and ethnicity, recognizes the business case for bringing in diversity at the leadership level, ties diversity goals to the business objectives, holds recruiting events that target racial and ethnic groups, women, people with disabilities, older but capable workers, and others who are considered minorities, encourages senior executives to mentor minorities, and develop employee programs to emphasize and celebrate diversity and inclusivity. This concludes the video and presentation segment of the training module. The next step would be to review the 2 reading assignments and complete the final deliverable.